So over the weekend, I caught wind of this new little meme going around, this new little trend, and that is the Falling Stars Challenge. Now, let me go ahead and state this for the record. This is the dumbest flex ever. So everybody who doesn't know what a flex is, I'm pretty much most of you guys know what a flex is. But a flex is basically showing off, right? So for everybody who doesn't know, the Falling Stars Challenge portends to be the ultimate flex in which wealthy young socialites are posting images of themselves fake falling out of their expensive vehicles or, transportation that they're in at the moment, and they're dropping all of their expensive material possessions. They're taking pictures of this. This is what we've come to. This is peak flex. We've reached the nadir of social media at this point. The lowest point. The thing about this kind of flex is that it really shows exactly why street culture and just culture in general is just reaching all-time lows. Because even though most normal people who look at this would be like, why, that just seems silly, that's just ridiculous, most people will probably be like that. But there are a slew of people who would love to live vicariously through people like these rich socialites who are posting pictures of themselves falling. There is a lot of people who want to live vicariously through that. And that's one of the criticisms that I had when I was really looking at myself, right? I would look at people that I admired and I'd look at their lives and I'd be like, yo, I can't wait till I'm in that same arena, that I can live like that. When I wasn't really concentrating on myself. That's me personally. But that wasn't just me. That's a whole generation of people, right? Because it's not like the Falling Stars Challenge is not popular. In fact, it's wildly popular. Now, there are some arguments about where it started. There was a trend going on a little bit in India. There's a trend going on in Russia with the Russian rich kids. People know about that. But it's really, this Fallen Stars Challenge has really taken off in China. To which I say, of course it's taken off in China. Of course it has. Of course. That doesn't mean that I think that Chinese people are just all about wealth. But if you have been around enough rich Chinese people, you know that if a rich Chinese person has a chance to flex, oh, they're gonna flex. Like, there's no question, right? I admire the amount of flexing that they do. They'll flex even if they don't got the money. They will flex on you. And there are some cultural reasons why. I don't want to go too far into it. There's a cultural reasons why that plays a big part in just kind of like Chinese society. And it gets deeper than just the surface, and you really should explore that more. Has a lot to do with, matchmaking, has a lot to do with the cultural norms that are happening in China right now, has a lot to do with, it just has a lot to do with stuff that's beyond just showing off, right? You kind of have to showcase your wealth a little bit. I don't want to go too harsh in on it, but of course, right? You come to Japan and you see some of the Chinese tourists that come to Japan, they will flex on them. All right. Right. They will flex. It's quite interesting, but this is something that I personally have to distance myself from. This is why I try not to get on Instagram and find stuff like this, because what we lose out on is the art of it all. How does one come up with a challenge where they're falling and dropping all their material possessions? Now, we all may think it's silly, but we did a little bit of research on why this came to be. How did these wealthy socialites come up with this challenge, right? So, did a little bit of digging. Apparently, there's this photographer. His name is Sandro Giordano. Not sure if I'm saying his name right, but I'll put his link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. But I found out Sandro Giordano is a photographer who has an entire exhibition, entire exhibition. That's exactly what he does. It's not just rich socialites though. It's like everyday people, like somebody doing their, who got their hair done, or somebody who was working out. He photographs these people in these contorted positions who have fallen, and they've dropped everything that they had in their hands at the time or on their personal. And I thought that this, if you look at this exhibition, if you look at some of the pictures, it looks amazing. Like, it's eerie, but this is where the art comes in, because I knew it couldn't have just been an original thought, right? But my whole thing is that we miss out on the art because of now the popularity of the Falling Stars Challenge. And you know what's even worse? Every publication that I read about never even mentioned Sandro Giordano's name. So you're getting very few. I actually looked it up. Like, I was just searching, right? So I'm not gonna act like I was really searching for the Falling Stars Challenge and finding out what it was. But then I wanted to know where it came from, because obviously the beginning started somewhere. Apparently it's this guy, right? This guy who created a work of art that everybody just kind of pilfering and doing their own thing. And that's sad, man. Like, the positive vibe here is that there's an artist who made something up that's pretty creative. I like it. I think it's bold. The sad part about it is not many people are even mentioning it. They're just mentioning, oh, this is what rich millennials are doing. And I find that just kind of upsetting, man. You did all this work. You did all this work as a photographer, and everybody just pilfering your junk. They just copying, and now it doesn't mean anything, right? It means less than what it did, because what he has done, he did this professionally. Now everybody's just taking pictures of it, like pictures of themselves doing this. And it's kind of gaudy, and it's kind of like not really what the original intention of what the artwork was, the piece was. So I implore everybody who's watching this right now to do one of two things. One, don't do this. Don't do this Falling Stars Challenge. If you're even thinking about doing it, do it the parody way. A lot of people are kind of making fun of this. Young, wealthy, rich people come up with the worst memes, man. They came up with the worst stuff. It's just not the coolest people, right? Not everybody, but anyway, don't do this. And number two, check out homeboy's work, Sandro Giordano. I'm gonna put his name and a link to all of his stuff in the description on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, definitely do that. But I want to know what you guys think of this Falling Stars Challenge. Do you plan on doing it? Do you have an inclination to do it? Do you want to make fun of it? What's your thoughts on it? Love to hear it.